Hey guys, welcome back to our Apache camper paneling replacement project. Wow, that's a tongue twister. Part 2. Yesterday, one thing I should have told you is, when you're cutting, if you're cutting this stuff with a cutoff wheel like I am, it throws a lot of dust in the air, and that is fiberglass dust. So make sure you wear a respirator. I didn't wear one yesterday. I'm actually wearing a full face respirator today. I just happen to have it because of my job. The reason I'm wearing a full face is because when I got in a hot shower yesterday after doing this, which anybody who works with fiberglass will tell you never to do, my face was on fire, guys. I mean, like, it was just stinging and itching, and I was having flashbacks when I was like 13, 14 years old, and I used to work with my stepdad putting in insulation under houses. And so here's my tip. Use a respirator, and when you go to take a shower after you get done cutting this stuff and working with it, use cold water initially, or cool water, to rinse yourself off. Because what happens is if you get in a really hot shower, it opens up all your pores and little fiberglass particles will get into your skin, and that's what happened to me yesterday, and I was itching like crazy. So anyway, yeah, use a respirator. If you don't have a full face like this, use a respirator and safety goggles, and cold shower. You don't have to take the whole shower cold, but do your initial rinse off with cold water to get the fiberglass particles off before you open your pores with hot water. These end panels, to get these end panels out, the first thing you've got to do is take all these screws loose. Once you get all these screws out from around your frame, top, bottom, and sides, the only thing that's holding your frame in at that point is this putty. It's like plumber's putty. So you just want to, well, we'll start with the sides. Just grab your sides, pull them out. Like I said, there's like a plumber's putty in the corners here, holding everything together, which is actually a good thing. Oh, wait. We got one more screw. Is that in the frame? Forgot about this one. Now, if you're going to use a drill like I did, and you don't have to take this one all the way out, just enough to take it loose. If you're going to use a drill like I did, just, don't run it wide open, because you'll strip this aluminum out. You'll overheat it. But anyway, it's just putty holding it in place. So just pull on it gently. There we go. Woo, that side fell out. Now, I also want to say this too. There are two hidden screws. There's a screw down there in your extrusion, and on the other corner there's a screw right down there. Don't forget to take those out. You're probably not going to get these side panels, well, as rotten as mine are, I'll probably get it out without doing it, but normally you wouldn't. You can see here my outer panel is broken pretty badly here. We're going to have to address that, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about getting the paneling out. So get my son to hold this here. Just hold it up here. What you're going to do is pull this out, and you got your little dilly whacker here.
Hey.
Just slide this down.
Happy Mother's Day.
Just slide this down, pull it out. And then down here at the bottom, you've got another one. So pull your side panel out, try to reach back behind here,
Thank you.
slide it up,
and me and Mom had
and slide it out. And once you get that out, you'll be able to just pull this piece of paneling out. Actually, we're going to go to the top because this one is rotten and it's stuck here. So we're going to have to use our little trick with the paint scraper. So we'll go up top to demonstrate. I got to do this side over here too. Pull this out. And like I said, once that's out, this panel should just pull out. This one's actually frozen in. Make me look like an ass clown. Alright guys, it looks like we're going to have to use our paint scraper trick. Which what you want to do is just get behind here. Just try to break this panel loose. Look, that did it right there. Alright, so then that just slides out. So there's one panel out. Then you've got this panel here. Once that top panel's out and that bottom screw comes out, we should be able to just grab this panel and slide it out over the window. Alright, so like I was saying, we use our little paint scraper trick, and all you're doing, it's where the wood is rotten and it's kind of adhered to the plastic here. So you just take your paint scraper and try to break it loose. Do it on the sides too. Then once you do that, you should be able to just slide the panel this way and bend it slightly and pop it out. There we go. And that's how you get all the paneling out of the end part of your bed end. We got these little guys here, which are what hold all the all the pieces together on the bed ends in the window area. These are actually metal, so you can paint these whatever color you want. They come as an almond color. So what I'm going to do is, the only face that matters is this face right here. That's really all you have to paint. So I'm actually going to paint these white. That way they match. That way they match the paneling. They don't kind of stick out like a sore thumb. But first I'm going to scuff them up with this 150 grit sandpaper. Right now we're taking a little break. I'm actually waiting on these to dry. Where we painted these white. It's still just a little tacky. These are the clips where all the panels come together on the end pieces in the bed. But yeah, in the bed area. But what I want to go over right now is Judith from the Apache Camper Preservation Society on Facebook had asked me a question. When I told her I was going to be using the FRP instead of regular paneling, and that the FRP only comes in one color, it comes in white, and she had asked about painting the FRP, painting a different color. I said that I didn't know if the paint would stick, but I told her a few days before I started this that maybe I'd do a little project and see. So what I did, I had 2 pieces of scrap, and with the FRP, you've got this bumpy, I don't know if you can see it, but you've got this bumpy texture on one side, but then the back is flat. So what's good about that is, if you decide to do like I did and use this FRP, you can use the bumpy side if you want, and this is the side that cleans really easy, guys. This is the side you see in public bathrooms and things like that. It wipes off really easy. Or if you wanted a smooth finish, you just flip it over and put it in backwards. What I wanted to do for my experiment is, I didn't have any paint to waste per se, but I did have some black primer. And anybody that's going to try to paint plastic or metal that hasn't been painted before is going to use primer first. So I thought that would be the most fair test, is to shoot this stuff with some primer and see if the primer would stick. So what I did is I scuffed the front of this piece and the back of this piece with 120 grit. It might have been 150 grit. Where's my sandpaper's laying right here, with 150 grit sandpaper. And then last night I had applied a coat of black primer to both pieces. So now it's fully dry, and I'm just going to take my fingernail and see if it comes off. And the answer is yes. I don't know if you guys can see that, but on the front side, even though I'd sanded it, the primer is not adhering to this. And yeah, I mean, can you guys see? I mean, that primer's just coming right off. I kind of figured that's what it would do on the front side, because, you know, the whole point of this stuff is to, you know, to be easy to clean. So it's got like a really slick finish, and even sanding it, it will not stick to the front. So no, you can't paint the front, at least not if you want it to last. First time, you know, you bump into that with a heavy object or something, you know, it's going to start chipping off. Now, the back side. I did the same thing to the back side of this piece. You can see there's the front, here's the back. You know, I scuffed it with the 150 grit, and I sprayed it with primer. So we'll give it the same test. Now this is looking more promising. Alright guys, it's hanging on pretty good there. Like, I don't know if you can see that, but like, I'm scuffing it with my fingernail. I mean, you can see black on my fingernail, but I mean, it's really not rubbing through to the white. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to lightly scratch it with a car key. Just lightly. I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on it. And actually, I don't think that went all the way through. Again, you guys see, I'm just lightly scratching it here. And that kind of buffs out. Alright guys, so Judith, there's your answer. You know, I would not paint the front side, but the back side seems to be holding the primer very well. I mean, you can see a hairline scratch where I run the key across it, but I mean, it didn't go all the way down to the white. So, you know, if you were to scuff that with some 150 grit like I did, hit it with some primer and then a couple coats of paint, yes, you can paint the back side of FRP, and it seems to take it pretty well. So there's the answer to your question, Judith. No, you cannot paint the front side. Yes, you can definitely paint the back side, and I'm guessing that the back side is what people would want to paint anyway, because you know, then you've got a smooth finish. The panel's back in the end now. Here's the deal with that. These things go together kind of like a puzzle. Everything has to go back in the correct order. It kind of reminds me of remember when you were little, you had those little slider puzzles that had all the little squares and you had to move them around. It's kind of like that, only not quite as complicated. When you take these apart, the top and the bottoms have to come out first. So of course, when you put it back together, they're the last things that go in. Now, the edges here, the trim that these pieces fit into are not removable. They're actually plasti welded to this front panel, so you're not going to be able to take those out. So the only way that I found to get these the side pieces out is bending and sliding. So what I suggest, you put it in your bottom channel down there. You got to flex it a little bit to get it in the top channel, and then you just kind of slide it over into place and slide it into your trim over there. So then that piece is in. You got to do the same thing on that side. So we're going to get over there. I'm just hoping this plywood will hold me at this point, because I'm a big boy. So again, over here, put that in the bottom channel, get it lined up in your top channel, bend it a little bit. Once you get it in your top channel, slide it over into your side channel there. And then that one's in. Uh-oh, that did not sound good. I'm about to fall through this thing. Yeah, I'm not sure what the weight limit is on these bed ends, but I mean, I know there's a metal strap there, but I'm getting the feeling that it wasn't meant to deal with someone of my stature. Anyway, we'll do the bottom first because that'll be the easiest, I think. So again, you want to put it in this bottom channel here. Now, that's where your little clips come into play. What you're going to have to do is come up here and put it behind your side piece and hold this piece up and just leave yourself a little gap there and just kind of slide it down just like that. There we go. And that piece is slid in. We're going to do the same thing on that side. But before we do that side, we're going to do it on the top, I think. This would probably be easier if I had an extra pair of hands. But just make do. Same thing. Slide it into this. Oh! Yeah, this is definitely going to be a two-man job. Can you help me, baby?
Can it hold both of our weights on here?
I wouldn't step on that. That's just paneling, dear.
Forgot.
That's broken paneling. Now, anyway.
Well, okay, you cracked that piece. I cracked this
Here,
piece.
over here. Go, you can get to see the wifey doing it. All right, here you go. Just put it up in that channel. All right, now I'm going to slide it all the way towards you first. I might should have cut this a little shorter. So can you hold that up?
Got it.
All right. So again, slide it behind there and just slide it up. Get it lined up with this piece. And slide it on up. I don't know if that's going to hold or not. You might have to hold that for a minute. Can you slide this piece in like I just showed? Pull the side piece out a little. Yeah, tuck it behind there. And slide it up. There you go. Get it in there. There you go. Slide it up. Alright. Now, okay, so we got these slid in, top and bottom. You know, this top is kind of a point of contention, just, I mean, naturally, because it's, you know, gravity's working against us here. But what we've got next is our top frame. And what we need to do, make sure your clips are slid all the way up. Is your clip up above it?
It's up above it, but
Okay.
not all the way up.
And you'll notice there's a substance that's kind of like plumber's putty in the corner here. Just make sure that, you know, that plumber's putty is in there good. Honestly, I'm having a hard time figuring out how to hold this paneling up while we put the trim on. How to hold it up in the channel.
Why did it not go with yours?
Oh, well, there we go. I mean, I guess what has to happen, this is definitely a two-man job, people, because somebody's going to have to hold pressure. You got it?
Yeah.
Somebody's going to have to hold pressure while someone else screws this rail in. Try to make sure you get lined up with your first hole here.
don't see it.
I'm going to try to get a screw in while she's holding that panel up. What did I do with my screwdriver, honey? There it is. Now once you get a couple of these screws snugged in here, I'm hoping that should hold the panel up a little bit. Got that one in. I'm going to get one in right here. Yeah, definitely a two-man job putting this back together, guys. We'll get this screw in. Nice and snug. You're still holding up there. This screw in the channel. Yeah, and at that point, it should pretty much be holding the paneling. Now these things, if you had, thicker paneling in, you wouldn't be able to move these. We can still move them a little bit because this FRP is a lot thinner. But anyway, that's the. Are you in the channel, sweetie? Let's keep turning. You've got to turn it. You've got to turn it more. You need to turn it more. Arnie said you must turn it. Is it snug? Awesome. And this stuff's flopping a little bit, but I think we're good. So I'm going to move on. Show you guys. We've got our next thing that's going in is should be this channel right here. You know which one goes on the left because it'll have this little clip here for the window that retains the window from sliding. It's just like a little spring-loaded thing here. So again, you've got your gooey little stuff here. It's your it's like plumber's putty, like I said before. So just try to get that in there, get it centered up as best you can, and sink you a screw into your rail here. You're on camera.
I was telling him to turn the fan around. I'm getting hot.
Alright. So we got one screw in there, which is enough to hold it so we can put this on. We got our bottom piece here. And we're going to try to put a couple screws in it.
Do I need to put this on first?
Just hold on a second. I'm trying to get this lined up. Sorry this is taking so long, guys, but you're going to figure out when you go to do this, this is definitely a game of patience, which is kind of ironic because I don't have any. Alright, so you can kind of see what's going on there. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the rest of the screws in now. Alright, here we go. We got our side panels and we got our end panels. Next thing we've got to address is the roof panel.